it again. That one got cut off, so let's try it again. There we go, confirmation. I think we're all set. Divine love flew on the floor with the Emperor and the Playboy in reverse. So what I'm getting from this is that your Emperor that's coming in, or Empress, is no longer in Playboy or Narcissist or Overload energy, okay? Overlord energy, Playboy Narcissist in reverse. Talking about the divine masculine, the Emperor in reverse. So it's divine. And I've been telling you that for a while. You don't want to settle for less, okay? Those days are actually over, and we're supposed to learn from our past. We're supposed to be calling in a high-level soulmate, twin flame, half of the same whole, okay? And I'm drawn to the bubble. They're in a bubble, and that's how it should feel when you're together. You should feel like you are in a bubble. Okay, I'm saying hi to Joshua on the live, and those cards fell on the floor. I want to mention my shorts because I did a short on Mother Love Bone, and I never heard of that group. So Christian turned me on to it yesterday, and I want to thank him. And you can check out Mother Love Bone yourself from my short, Gentle Groovy Gentleness, whatever. And you can also check out all their songs. Just Google Mother Love Bone. And it reminded me a little bit of Traffic, so I went and showed or told or mentioned Traffic. Okay? So I love Traffic. I just never remember their name when it comes to their good music. Okay, so we've got Low Spark of the High Heeled Boys, and I change it to Healed Boys, as in Healed boys, and that goes right along with the Emperor and the Playboy in reverse, because they're no longer worried about sex, drugs, and rock and roll anymore, even though they like it and it's still part of their lives. It's not their main priority anymore. The main priority now is angelic frequencies with divine love. Okay, so that's a grateful grooviness. That's the kind of energy going on right now. It's just everything that's not groovy, get rid of, just like that peaceful, easy feeling I talk about. And then also the gratitude. The card, the thumbnail is from Susan. She sent me a book, and she sent me a couple hearts. And I just love Susan. And she's in Georgia now, so she may be coming back to California, and I hope so. But I'm going to give her a personal reading soon, later, when she calls. And anybody that wants a personal reading, shout out to me. I'm willing to do them for free. So keep your eyes on the targeted intention. All right, that's from St. Michael. And he also wants you to know that God is in charge. Okay, so keeping that grateful mind, keeping your mind and your soul and your whole mission focused on the target. What's your target? Okay, then we have Tasha's divine guidances. Past loved ones are helping you while you sleep. And you're an earth angel on a special mission. And I just got done saying, what is your targeted intention? And it should be your mission. It shouldn't be sex, drugs, and rock and roll anymore, even though sex, drugs, and rock and roll could be in the picture. I highly doubt it that drugs and sex are going to be in your mission. You can keep thinking that way, but drugs and sex really are keeping you from your mission, and that thinking is keeping you from that mission. We don't do sex and drugs on our Earth Angel mission, okay? So past loved ones are helping you. That's why I showed you that card again. There is a tower falling. Okay, I've told you this before, the Tower of Babel, and it's a separation energy. It's an energy where if you still want to do sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that's cool, but you're going to find your people that are going to do your sex, drugs, and rock and roll. If you're going to just do rock and roll in your mission, then you're going to find your soul tribe in that area with your spaceship. You're going to be on multi dimensions more, and this matrix life is going to be more of bringing in the movie that I told you about. We're actors, we're playing out our soul contract right now, and it is groovy, and we do need to stay grateful, and rock and roll is a big part of it, but you really got to stop thinking about the sex and the drugs, because that ain't part of it. Now, if you guys still drink, I'm not going to tell you that you can't drink, but I'm just saying all that stuff is poison. Anything from the Matrix is poison. So, you guys do your own thing. The towers are falling. And if you don't want to listen, you know what? It's okay, because if you're fulfilling your soul contract, it'll be written in there, 7:07 on the clock. It'll be written in there from you how you're going to arrest it. Okay? And then we have the Six of Candles, which is the fall of Jericho. So again, the tower and the fall of Jericho. So we've got the tower, which is the Tower of Babel, and this is the Six of Candles, the fall of Jericho. So both cards saying what I just said about it's okay if you don't want to listen to me, because you wrote it in your own soul contract, and you want to ascend, and you want to finish this mission, and you wrote it in there. Yes, you do have free will. Yes, you do have a choice, right? But your higher power and your ancestors are more powerful than you are. With the Five of Pentacles here, it's telling me change. Fives are change. So it's all about change. That's what I'm getting. And the Two of Wands is courageous and daring. So in order to change, you have to go outside the box. When you start hearing yourself say, well, this is the way I've always been, red flag it. Because we don't want to be the way we always been. We want somebody to say, wow, you are not who you were. You're not who your end is, but you are not who you were. Okay? So courageous and daring, Two of Wands. And the change card. Okay, so in order to change, you must be courageous and daring. If you're not going to be courageous and daring, you're going to fall back on your old habits. You're going to fall back on sex, drugs, and we're going to keep rock and roll. We're not going to get rid of rock and roll. But if you're going to fall backwards, it's going to be on you. Stronger towers will happen, and that's just the way it goes. Okay? Done preaching, okay? Give it away, right? We've got charity. We've got time, talents, and things. So what are we supposed to give away? Well, I'm giving away everything that I can except me, meaning my body, and I am giving away all my things and talents. Okay? Things and talents. Give it all away. And then we have why? Because of our soul contract. Two of Cups. Everything I just said, okay? I just got done telling you all about your soul contract, that you wrote it, that you are in charge of it, and you want to ascend, you want to complete your mission, and the only way you're going to complete your mission is by getting rid of the toxins you're putting in your body and leaving the matrix. All these rubber bands break because they're probably 100 years old, so I'm just slowly getting rid of them. A lot of stuff I have is old. Okay, my favorite deck is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Questing. She's telling you to be creative. You see her sitting there with her guitar. Okay, we've got songs we've wrote. We've got music to write. We have music to play. And I don't mean you have to go run out and join a band, but what I'm saying is, like yesterday when I was told to listen to Mother Love Bone, how cool was that? A band that's really old that I never heard of, and I got to listen to it, and now I like it, and I got to do shorts for it. I got to show somebody else some of the music that I like. It's just fun. You know, I have music on 24/7. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Wands. This is my victory card here. The Nine of Wands is usually putting that last peg in the fence, but this deck is where the wolf is on the stick. And I love wolves, but sometimes we have wolves in sheep's clothing, and they must be put on their spike, right? And that's what we're doing. The storm is upon us. Yesterday's video is not changed. You say, well, what kind of storm are we in? Well, this is the kind of storm we're in here. We're taking all the wolves in sheep's clothing and we're putting them on sticks. So whatever that means for you. And we're doing it by our creativeness in the matrix and in all the other dimensions. Okay? So cleansing is really important. Now this card, I just talked all about cleansing. Do you want to keep drinking and having sex? Well, that's fine. You can do what you want. But I'm not going to be drinking. I'm not going to be having sex. So, you know, you say, well, that's not right. If you get a divine love partner, then you should be having sex with them. And, you know, you could go back to drinking. Well, for one, I can't go back to drinking. I'm an alcoholic and I have been sober since 1995, and I'm not ruining that. And being celibate since 1999, I'm not going back to that. And, you know, that's going to turn a lot of people off. That's going to turn a lot of people off, and you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm not going backwards. So I have cleansed majorly. And why do I share this personal stuff with you? Well, I share this personal stuff with you because if I can do it, you can do it. You hear that in a lot of AA meetings. They'll say, if I can stop drinking, you can stop drinking. Okay? Support groups are really cool. All right? So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you are really true blue, loyal, true, and blue, right, for your mission, your Earth Angel mission, you will keep ascending. You're not going to go backwards. Anything from the matrix, sex, drugs, alcohol, even eating bad food. But I'm not here to get into the food part because everybody's body requires different things at different times. You know, I fast probably over 17 hours a day. One day I break it. That's no big deal, okay? But food, one I might not eat no meat, and then one day I might eat meat. You know, we're not talking so much about rules for food. We're talking about what's your body craving, and you should go for what your body craves. The sex, I know you guys don't like to hear no sex, but you don't understand what body fluids do to another person. And, I'm sorry about this video being so raw, but they're telling me I have to be open and honest with you guys because a lot of you are going to fall. A lot of you are going to slide backwards, especially if you, male or female, find your divine counterpart, your queen, your king, right? Your 10 of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, right? And what's going to happen? Nine of Swords. You're going to look like that card. You don't have to believe me, but courageous and daring came up again. And courageous and daring is you have to keep moving forward. Okay? So cleanse. That's why that we got off track on cleanse, right? And I share everything with you guys on my video because I shared everything every day in AA for 30 years. And when I was a drunk until I was 29. I was open as a book. So nothing's changed in the open as a book part. It's just my values, my morals, everything have went skyrocketed. And the other thing, you can't become an empress, a hierophant. You can't become a god and goddess with earthly semen and drugs and alcohol in your system. You can't do it. So this is kind of a graphic and raw live, and that's what they want me to do today. So the other thing I'm told to warn about this cleansing here is that the reason why you want to be upfront with people and tell people this stuff is because you're completing your soul contract, and if that person isn't for you, then that person should leave you alone. Okay? That person should not keep bothering you and trying to get you to fall. It's going to be a challenge. The cleansing is going to be a challenge. The courageous and daring is going to be a challenge. Staying out of the 9 swords is going to be a challenge. Reaching your 10 of Pentacles is going to be a challenge. Being creative is going to be a challenge. Oh, yeah. Oh, this never said this mission was easy. They just said it was going to be worth it. So I got a couple more decks here. I'm going to finish up here. We've got the 10 of Swords in reverse. So you're done with the bullshit. You're done with the 10 swords in your back. You turned them to the birdies. You turned them to butterflies. You turned that cocoon into a beautiful butterfly, and you want to keep it a beautiful butterfly. Stay away from the deception. There you go. See that bird's mouth? That bird's mouth is me on this video today. Look at his mouth, huh? Well, that's the way it goes. I listen to the spirit. It is what it is. Okay, then we have the most love we can pull, the Queen of Cups. And you want to stay the most love you can pull from the deck. And it looks like the 3 of Pentacles again. We had that on the shorts. 3 of Pentacles been coming up in almost all my readings. And what I'm getting from it today is, you see the 2 people here? The 2 people, it reminds me of a marriage. And you're saying, well, if you get married, can you have sex? Well, I'm going to tell you that yes, you can get married and you can have sex, and that's fine. But that's not changing anything I just said about the bodily fluids. It's not changing nothing about you actually descending, okay? Marriage is just a piece of paper. So, I really don't want to get into that. That's going to be up to the two people that get married, what they're going to do. But somebody said, well, I wouldn't put up with no sex from my wife. Well, then don't make me your wife, okay? What's that song, George Thorogood? Until I get a wedding ring. Kissy kissy until I get a wedding ring. No kissy kissy till I get a wedding ring. Now, am I saying that I'm not going to have sex if I got married? Well, I'm not really going to make that decision. I'm going to stay in the here and the right now. But I don't see me getting married with that piece of paper from the courthouse. I'm already with my significant other and my soul team in 5D and higher. So we're already doing our thing on the spaceship, if you know what I'm saying. And it has nothing to do with the way we do things on Earth. So a good movie for that is Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man. And I just heard that song, Demolition Man, on Def Leppard on the radio. Pour some sugar on me. But anyway, if you watch that movie, Demolition Man, that's a movie of the future. And they don't have sex the way they have it in 3D here. So, yeah, so even though you think, well, I'll just marry her, that song by Bruno Mars, I Want to Marry You, I'll just marry her and then I can have sex. Well, it don't work that way. Once you're 5D and higher, it's so hard to go backwards. So I'm just putting this out there. I'm not putting this out there except for a warning. And it's also to show other girls and guys that when your divine love comes in, and they're coming in quickly, okay, this is some big shit. This is Queen of Cups and Three of Pentacles energy, okay? And the mission partner, the spirit guides, they're all just like, don't go backwards, don't go backwards. And it's going to be really hard for everybody. But the Ten of Swords was in reverse, so we are going to pull this off. This is our soul contract. We did write it. But you got to figure something out besides sex, okay? It's got to be different, okay? This is going to be a really hard chapter coming up. It's a really hard chapter because so much of the old you is still in you. So it's going to want to come out. In more than one way, right? Come out. And, it's you're not supposed to go backwards. So, okay, I'm done preaching. 22:22 on the clock. I love you guys. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.